7 years ago, I was standing in a machine shop running CNC machines. Yes. And believe it or not, I really enjoyed that job, but the paycheck barely covered monthly expenses. Plus, that wasn't what I really wanted to do. I had a degree in construction technology and of course years of drafting experience, and none of it mattered because in the United States, I was starting over from zero. Today, I'm a BIM specialist who works on projects for some of the biggest companies in America, and the tool that opened every single door goes right back to AutoCAD. This is exactly how I'd learn it if I had to start all over again, and how you can shortcut the entire process. I got obsessed with building design around the age of 13, growing up in Jamaica. I dreamt of becoming an architect. I couldn't imagine how massive the AEC, or the architecture, engineering and construction world really was. I thought architecture was the only path, and while teaching high school for 5 years, I kept taking on architectural drafting projects on the side. Then in 2018, I moved to the US and quickly realized that my Jamaican degree, my experiences, none of it translated automatically. I started as a CNC machinist and then of course entry-level drafting, ground floor basically. But here's the thing about starting over. When you know what actually matters, you move fast. I went from that machine shop to VDC specialist, then construction technology specialist, then BIM specialist, and of course with freelance income on top of that. Each jump happened because of one core skill set, and that is technical drafting. So let me save you the detour I took. Before you even open AutoCAD, you need to understand what drafting actually is and what it isn't. Most entry-level drafting jobs are 80 to 90% 2D work, not the flashy 3D renders that we all love. Precise technical drawings like floor plans, elevations, sections, these are the documents that construction crews actually build from. And that's what gets you hired. Here's where to start. This is the number one skill that separates most people who know AutoCAD from people who can actually do the job. Think of it like this. You're reviewing a drawing and you see a doorway dimensioned at 6 feet 8 inches high. You need to instantly picture that in your head. That's the standard door you walk through every day. Now, if that same drawing shows a ceiling height of 6 feet 8 inches, something is wrong because you'd be ducking throughout every room. And so spatial reasoning is what lets you look at lines on a screen or on a sheet and feel whether the space actually makes sense in the real world. When you develop this instinct, you start catching mistakes before they become expensive construction problems. You can visualize how different building systems fit together. You can have a real conversation with architects, engineers, instead of just, nodding your head. This is the skill that makes you useful on day one. Let's talk about blueprint interpretation. Each construction drawing tells a story. You need to speak the language fluently. Title blocks tell you who drew it, when it was last updated, and what project it belongs to. Legends decode what each symbol means, and revision clouds show what changed and when. Before you can create drawings, you need to be able to read them. This is like learning how to read music before you can compose a song. AutoCAD is still the gold standard across industries, architecture, engineering, construction, even manufacturing. It's everywhere. And here's the good news. Once you master AutoCAD, picking up other CAD or BIM software becomes dramatically easier. But here's the key most people miss. Don't just memorize commands. Learn workflows. Understand how professional drafters or designers organize their work, set up their drawings, and maintain consistency across projects with hundreds of sheets. Commands can be Googled at any point in time. Workflow thinking, however, is what makes you professional. Most people take a much longer path into drafting than they need to. They either spend years in college, drowning in theory, or they try to piece together random YouTube videos with no clear direction. Looking back, I would have skipped straight to exactly what employers were hiring for. That alone would have saved me years and my parents tens of thousands of dollars. Here's why the timing matters. The US government allocated $62 billion for infrastructure development this year. Construction is forecast to grow 8.5% through 2025 and 2026. The transportation infrastructure market alone is projected to hit $389 billion. Companies are desperate for qualified drafters. But here's the catch. Most job postings say entry level and then ask for 1 to 2 years of experience. That gap stops most people from even trying. And that's exactly the gap I designed the architectural drafting course with Course Careers to bridge. It takes you from beginner to job ready without needing a degree or prior experience. You get hands-on portfolio projects, step-by-step training in spatial reasoning, blueprint reading, and AutoCAD, plus job search coaching with real templates and scripts. There's even Cora. You're probably wondering who that is. It's an AI mentor built directly into the platform, like having an experienced drafter available around the clock when you get stuck. You can try the free intro course right now, links in the description. In under an hour, you'll know if this career path is right for you, and if you join the full course, you get $50 off. Once you've got the fundamentals, it's time to build portfolio pieces. And this is where I need to save you from the mistake I made. When I was building my first portfolio, I thought I needed to be creative. I thought, unique, eye-catching designs would impress employers. And of course, that does have its place, but let's be real, they don't care at all. What they wanted to see was that I could follow their standards, work within their systems, and produce drawings that look like what they already create. So here's a strategy that actually works. And this is a gem, so pay attention. There are multiple vendor websites and online resources that share free architectural plans and sample construction drawings. Find these, download them, and study them like textbook. Look at how professional drafters organize their sheets, how they dimension things, what notes they include, how layers are structured. Of course, if you're able to download their CAD files, then take a simple floor plan and recreate it exactly in AutoCAD. Not just, the walls and doors and windows, but also things like dimensions, textiles, line weights, everything. And as you recreate these drawings, you will naturally learn things like layers, blocks, hatching patterns, and dimensioning standards, and the list goes on. You'll start to understand why certain lines are thick and others are thin, why some dimensions are shown and others aren't. You're essentially reverse engineering professional work, and that teaches you much faster than any textbook. Your portfolio should include 3 to 5 pieces that demonstrate range. A simple residential floor plan shows you understand basic drafting. A more complex commercial project showing you can handle large drawings. A detailed drawing showing precision, and maybe a site plan showing you understand how buildings relate to their surroundings. Throw some of your best pieces in there. Every piece should look clean and professional, proper dimensioning, consistent text styles, and title blocks that look like what real companies use. If a hiring manager glances at your portfolio and it looks like something their team would produce, guess what? You're in. Here's what I wish someone had told me on day one. Ask for help early. Don't wait until you're struggling. Most people in this industry are genuinely willing to help, but you have to reach out. After you apply for a job, find someone in that company's, drafting department. Ask about the team, the software they use, the type of projects they work on. This does two things. It shows you're serious about the company specifically, not just blasting resumes everywhere. And it puts your name in front of people who might influence hiring decisions. You can also message hiring managers and recruiters directly. Explain why you are a fit and attach 3 to 5 of your strongest portfolio pieces. Most applicants never take the extra step, so you doing it immediately sets you apart. Course Careers walk you through all of this with exact outreach scripts, LinkedIn message templates and follow-up strategies, so you're not just guessing about what to say. If you're putting in 10 to 15 hours per week of focused effort, here's what your path looks like. Month 1, start with blueprint reading. Learn to understand drawings before you try to create them. Study standard symbols, conventions, title blocks, and how professional sheets are organized. By the end of this month, you should be able to pick up a set of construction drawings and identify every element on the page. Month 2, now open AutoCAD. Learn the core commands and concepts, drawings, layers, dimensions. This is where blueprint reading pays off because you already know what a finished drawing is supposed to look like. By the end of the month, you should be able to recreate a simple floor plan with proper annotations. Month 3, create more complex drawings and refine your portfolio. Move to commercial projects. Add detailed drawings and site plans. By now, your work should start looking like it comes from a real drafting office. Month 4, perfect your resume and start networking. Join LinkedIn groups for drafters and construction professionals. Follow companies you'd want to work for. Start conversations with people in the industry. And in month 5 and 6, apply aggressively while continuing to sharpen your skills. Don't wait until you feel completely ready. That day never comes. Use each interview as a learning experience and adjust your approach based on the feedback you get. Most people can land an entry-level drafting job within 6 months of serious effort. And here's what most people don't realize about the growth trajectory. Within 2 years, you can move into specialist roles, and within 5 years, senior positions and management become realistic. The ceiling is a lot higher than people expect. Entry-level positions start in the mid-40s and mid-50s range. As you gain experience and specialize, that climbs significantly. So drafters and BIM specialists move into the mid-range, and senior specialists and managers can clear 6 figures comfortably. The progression is real and it happens faster than you think if you are intentional about building your skills and taking opportunities as they come. And there's job security here. I know everyone is asking about AI, and yes, AI tools are entering the AEC space, but here's what people misunderstand. Construction documents aren't just drawings. They have to meet building codes, local regulations, project-specific standards, and coordinate across multiple disciplines. That requires human judgment. AI can assist with repetitive tasks, but someone still needs to verify that what's on that drawing is buildable, code compliant, and coordinated with every other system in the building. As long as people need buildings, bridges, and infrastructure, they need skilled drafters making sure everything is right before it gets built. This isn't a career that is going away. If anything, drafters who learn to use AI tools alongside their core skills will become even more valuable. The single biggest mistake I see is people trying to learn everything before they start applying. You don't need to be an expert to land your first drafting job. Companies expect to train new hires on their specific standards and procedures. They're looking for someone with spatial reasoning, reasoning ability, basic CAD skills, and professional communication. And they'll teach you the rest. Show them you have the foundation and the ability to learn quickly. That's the whole game. I started this journey as a kid in Jamaica who thought architecture was the only way to work with buildings. I spent years in college studying things I never used on the job. I moved to a new country and started over from scratch. And through all of that, the skills that actually built my career was technical drafting. You don't need to take the long road like I did. The path is clearer now than it's ever been. Start with the free Course Career Intro course, links in the description. See what drafting is really like and if it matches what you're looking for. The full program will take you from beginner to job ready in months, not years. Subscribe for more career tips, and I'll see you in the next one.